Qualified dividends are a type of dividend that is taxed at a lower rate than ordinary income. They are payments made by companies to shareholders, typically from the company's profits, and they come with significant tax benefits if they meet certain requirements set by the IRS. Here's how it works. Dividends can be classified as either qualified or ordinary. Ordinary dividends are taxed at your regular income tax rate, which could be as high as 37%, depending on your tax bracket. Qualified dividends, on the other hand, are taxed at the long-term capital gains tax rates, which are much lower, typically 0%, 15%, or 20%, depending on your income level. For a dividend to be qualified, it must meet two key criteria. The paying company must be eligible. This generally includes U.S. corporations or certain qualified foreign companies. The holding period requirement must be met. You must have held the stock for more than 60 days during the 121-day period that begins 60 days before the stock's ex-dividend date, the date after which new buyers aren't entitled to the next dividend. Let's use an example to make it clear. Suppose you own shares of a U.S. corporation and they pay you a $1,000 dividend. If this dividend is qualified and you're in the 15% tax bracket for long-term capital gains, you'll owe $150 in taxes. If the dividend were ordinary, taxed at your income tax rate of 24%, you'd owe $240. That's a significant savings when dividends are qualified. Qualified dividends are common among large, well-established companies known for paying consistent dividends, like those in the S&P 500. For example, dividends from companies like Apple, Johnson & Johnson, or Coca-Cola are typically qualified, assuming you meet the holding period requirement. These tax benefits make qualified dividends especially attractive for long-term investors. They allow you to keep more of your investment returns compared to ordinary dividends, which are taxed at higher rates. This is why many investors focus on dividend-paying stocks or funds that prioritize qualified dividends to maximize after-tax income. However, it's essential to understand that not all dividends are qualified. Dividends from REITs, real estate investment trusts, MLPs, master limited partnerships, and certain foreign companies usually don't qualify. They are taxed as ordinary income, regardless of how long you hold the stock. Checking the nature of the dividend on your 1099 DIV form, provided by your broker, will clarify if it's qualified or not. Another consideration is the holding period requirement. If you sell the stock too quickly after receiving a dividend, the IRS may reclassify the dividend as ordinary, which could increase your tax bill. For example, if you buy a stock one day before the ex-dividend date and sell it a week later, the dividend will likely not be qualified. Qualified dividends play a vital role in tax-efficient investing, especially for those in higher tax brackets. By focusing on investments that pay qualified dividends, you can reduce your overall tax burden and keep more of your returns. They're particularly beneficial for retirees or investors seeking regular income while managing tax liabilities.